The latest Disney Animation Studios film drops in theaters this week, so let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comments section. Let me know, have you seen Strange World? If you have, what did you think about it? And if you haven't, are you excited to check it out? Now, this movie's a bit of an oddity to me because it's from Disney Animation Studios, the premier animation studio of the last 80 years, and I haven't seen a single trailer for this film. Like, I know they have released trailers and they have had some marketing put out, but it feels like this is a movie with absolutely no marketing budget, and I'm not really sure why. And so I went into the movie knowing the basic concept because they've released, the synopsis, the premise of the film. That's all I knew. I saw the poster, I read this one paragraph, and I went into the movie. And that's because they haven't marketed their film hardly at all. So is that a sign that this is a bad film that they're trying to bury? Or did they just have a big, gigantic marketing fumble? Here's what I thought about the film. And Strange World is okay. And that's really frustrating because it's a movie that has a lot of things going for it, a bunch of really cool elements, but the film as a whole didn't come together for me. So as it went along, I liked it less and less and less. When it started, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And by the end, I was like, okay, that wasn't nearly as good as I was hoping from the first part of the film. And so when it comes to the good, it's a movie that's trying to kind of pay homage to these adventure films of past decades about people going into these lost worlds and exploring. And so it kind of borrows that aesthetic, so it has kind of a fun style to the way that it presents its story. It's a movie that does several different layers of cool world building, because both in the village itself, they have both this retro but also futuristic vibe to what they do with the technology and what they're able to do with this kind of mineral plant thing that they use. And then, of course, we go into the strange world and you get a bunch of strange creatures and all the fun that comes with that. Of course, there's some fun little sidekick characters that are cute, charming, and funny. So you have elements in this movie that are very cool, that are exactly what you would hope from a Disney adventure film of people going into a strange world. But where it started to lose me, actually fairly early on, was in the characters, and then later on in the film where the story goes. So on a character level, it leans very heavily into parent dynamics and the classic parents just don't understand, the classic theme for family films that they seem to want to throw in everything. It seems like in particular Disney keeps going down that path, playing that card, and like you're in the first 5 minutes of this movie and you get exactly where it's headed. You know exactly what they're doing with this film. And then you kind of get into the meat of it and you're like, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing here. And it's so heavy-handed and presented in a way where there's kind of like 3 generations in the story. There's the grandpa, the dad, and then the son. And that, like, they make the grandpa, if you stop and think about what he's doing, a terrible human being, like an unbelievably terrible human being, but they make him this boisterous, fun personality to maybe try and make up for it. But he's just awful because of the choices that he makes, what he does with his son, how he treats his son. And they try and do things where they equate behaviors of, generational parenting and repeating the mistakes of the past. They try and do some of those elements in it, and there's just no equivalent if you stop and think about it. If you spend half a second thinking about it, it becomes offensive to try and equate the two things that the story tries to equate. And it's like they never stop to think about the actual implications of what the grandpa did, like how extreme what he was doing was, and then the choice that he makes early on. Like, they never stopped to think about the actual implications of what that meant and what that was. And it's just not comparable to what takes place later on in the film. And that the whole story kind of has this problem of making all the adults unbearable. There's a few of them that are there. The mother, I think, kind of gets off the hook. She's a lot of fun and just kind of someone that gets to save the day. But pretty much all the other adult characters are written at some point in time to just do something that makes them so off-putting that it's very frustrating. Because they're meant to be our protagonists, the people that have arcs, but they're just making so many bad choices so frequently throughout the film. And then the other one where it just kind of lost me is in the kind of final reveals of kind of what's going on with this strange world. It's kind of an interesting concept. It's something where, maybe. And then they try and, like, back half of the film shove in all sorts of new messaging that kind of feels like it comes out of the blue. And while you're trying to tell the story about parent dynamics and children, and you have all of these deep themes about that, and then all of a sudden last minute you bring in all this other stuff, it's just too much is in the third act. There's too many turns, there's too many characters having arcs and journeys, changes, all this kind of messaging trying to take place all at the same time. And honestly, like, I didn't fully understand what was going on. And, you know, sometimes you kind of miss a plot point. I'm sure if I watched it a second time, I could piece it together. But the way that they try and, like, tie in certain environmental messages with the plot, with what's really going on, it's like, I'm not fully tracking with what you're saying right now. And so it just didn't fully come together for me. And I mean, by the end of it, like, it gets pretty overt where the movie starts off heavy-handed with the parent-child stuff, and then it closes out really heavy-handed on the new messaging introduced in the third act of the film. So it was just really frustrating because the adventure stuff I was on board with. There's some cute sidekicks, nice world building. Like, I wanted to really enjoy this film, but they just put these characters in there that were just so difficult to root for, and then overcrowded everything going on and had too many ideas, too many things, too many twist turns, too many things happening. And so it just did not come together in the end for me. And that was very disappointing. Remember to join me down below in the comment section. Let me know either your excitement level for the film. Have you seen a trailer for the film? And if you've seen the movie, what did you think about it? Also, last year I did this massive project where I ranked all 60 Disney animation films. It was a fun, exhausting process that took 11 months to watch all of those movies in a single year, and then shared my thoughts on them. So if you're a Disney fan, you're a Disney fanatic, you absolutely got to check out that ranking. In the end, it's a movie where I like the world building, the style, and the genre, but the characters, the story, the themes, the twists, the turns didn't fully work for me. So it's a movie that just kind of lands right there in the middle of being okay. Overall, it's a C+ on the entertainment scale, a 6 out of 10. If you're interested, just stream it whenever it drops on Disney+. Remember to join me down below in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on Strange World, and be sure to check out that ranking right over there with my thoughts on all 60 Disney animation films. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much. Bye-bye.